Hi, everybody. I'm Josh Thomas, Senior Key Account Manager at Wizards of the Coast. I recognize many faces in this room, but I also don't. So welcome. I hope that you're having a great time at Canada Plays like we are. I brought with me today Raymond Smith, as Tommy introduced. Hi.
Hello, I'm Raymond. I am one of the business development specialists on the WPN team.
So my role at Wizards of the Coast is interacting with the distribution partners like Asmodee and other partners here in Canada and the US. And Raymond works directly with stores like you guys. So today I'm going to walk us through a little bit of content for upcoming products. Raymond is going to walk us through some key details about the Wizards Play Network, our promotional program for retailers like you. So without further ado, let's get started on, there we go, Dungeons and Dragons is going to be the focus of my presentation here today. So here's a quick reminder of the roadmap that we have coming out for this year, right? So we've done Monster Manual. I'm sure you guys are very excited and happy with the performance of the Monster Manual so far. Thing I'm going to be focusing on is Dungeon Delves here today, but also I'm showing you a little bit more coming at the end of the year here, right? So Eberron Forge of the Artificer, a new starter set coming out later this year, a thing I legally cannot talk about, and then a new type of product we're going to be doing in November that we'll talk more about at a later time. I also have little flags here to note. If you are a local game store, that's you guys. You get early access to it over mass market and e-commerce platforms as well. Who here sold the core rulebooks in the past few months here? Great. I see a lot of great hands here. Went well for your stores, I'm assuming. It was, in fact, the best launch we have ever had in the company's history for Dungeons and Dragons. And it went so good, we ran out, as I'm sure you noticed, on players' handbooks, on the DMG, and we were almost ran out of the Monster Manual, but we do have reprints coming in on that as well, because as soon as that player's handbook sold out, we were like, maybe we should just go ahead and run all of these now to save ourselves some heartache later. So while you might have a little bit of challenge in the short term getting Monster Manual over the next few weeks, we do have a reprint coming in this summer, so you should be A-okay to continue sales on that SKU. I am considering the performance of these core rulebooks as an indicator of what we're moving towards in terms of community sentiment and engagement. So my production numbers for books are also ramping up this year to try to match that, and including alt covers as well, if you're familiar with that. All right, oh no, my font. Oh, sad. All right, well, here's Dragon Delves in not Tiamat font, but this is the topic of the day, right? So we're gonna do a deep dive into Dragon Delves. As our valued retailers and partners, I wanna make sure you get an advanced look, and it's a very different look than you've seen for Dungeons & Dragons in the past. Let's take a look at that, by the way. So starting even from the outside, we have a refreshed look for the adventure modules, right? So here's the traditional cover featuring artwork from Greg Staples. The most interesting part to me is actually a very simple bar at the bottom here. This is an adventure anthology. Your customers no longer need to guess, what is this book about? They will know. It will tell them exactly what this book is for and what it does. So not only does it have a very clear indicator for consumers on the front of what this product is, but also we have details on the product, of course, of what is in this book. What should you expect, right, for this adventure? I told you alt covers. Why don't I show you alt covers? So here's the alt cover for Dragon Delves, right? We love this. This is Justine Jones. This is a neon daydream, we call it. As always, the alt covers are exclusive to the Core Hobby channel. That's us. So you will not find this on e-commerce platform or your local Target or Walmart. This is available only to Asmodee and other North American distributors. This is in English only, as per usual, in case you needed to know. All right, so we've seen the outside. That's great. That's wonderful. It's beautiful. We love the product, Josh. I know it's beautiful, isn't it? But what about the inside? We have a lot of great stuff inside. This is a standard price point for our current rulebooks. This does release July 8th, but like I told you earlier, you guys get early access. So for you, the release date is more like June 24th. So when we were creating this product, we had two goals, right? We wanted to provide every D&D party a chance to engage with a dragon. I'm sure there's a lot of D&D players in this room, but I bet under half of you have fought a dragon in your game, right? It's Dungeons and Dragons. Why aren't we fighting more dragons? Why aren't we engaging with more dragons? So all of these adventures, for all levels of play, have some interaction with dragons. And we also wanted to make sure this product was more plug and play, a little bit easier to get on to dungeon mastering, to playing, right? So it's a little more plug and play for this adventure. We made learning to be a DM and running games easier, of course, with the revised DMG, and so we use those improvements we made there also in the design of the adventures themselves. Here's some really cool art. All of this art is in the book, and you can see it's very drastically different looks for each of these adventures. This book does contain 10 short adventures, right, all around different dragons. Each adventure, as I mentioned, showcases different art. There's a totally different style for the copper dragon, right, versus the black dragon. But through theme, through setting, through even the maps that we make in the adventure are done by individual separate artists to, again, carry the tone that we're going for in each of these adventures. Oh, haha, look at that text. Also, not in Tiamat font. All right, so from a game design perspective, right, I was talking a little bit about how we were going about it, but again, leveraging all the knowledge we've accumulated from feedback from you, from our consumers, from us in the building who play regularly, right? We took all of those lessons and learnings for the core rulebooks, and again, are applying them here in this book. So the benefits to that is about creating a streamlined opportunity for consumers, right? So an easier, quick instruction guide on, all right, we're starting this adventure. What are the key beats you need to know to get started in the next 10 minutes, right? Just to get rolling on the adventure. 3 of these adventures, interestingly enough, include instructions for the DMs to run a single other player or for solo play even. So there's opportunity for players who want to give it a shot, maybe without an audience or a crowd, to try their hand at being a dungeon master. So of course, the design with an adventure anthology is that you can play each of these individually. You can see them into existing campaigns, or if you wanted to, play them from start to finish, book open to close, right? We want to make sure that both of those ways felt correct, they felt natural in the experience. Here's some slightly blurry slides of 2 different adventures to, again, help illustrate just the differences in tone that we're going for some of these, driven through the art style, right? So each of these chapters have a full page spread, again, of the badass dragon that you're going to encounter for that adventure. As I mentioned earlier, we have maps, and they're very different, right? So there's a seaside cave complex done from a totally different artist than did the ruined desert city, again, with different themes and different places to, again, carry a long-form story or to plant into your existing campaigns, right? Are you running more of a desert environment, right? Here's something for you. Are you doing the Undercity or a nearby shoreside town or something? Again, just opportunities to engage with different artists, different styles to, again, carry the tone of the adventure. Here's another example, but this time it's the same, right? Same as our adventure. We got the main spread here, we got some key art here, and then also one of the maps that are included with the adventure, right? There will be key NPCs on the first page, so as a quick reference guide for DMs looking to, who is this person? Why do I need to know them? Easy way to engage with that kind of stuff. There are, as I had mentioned, 10 adventures. So here's I will talk very slowly so you can read some of these before I click the next button. The levels of play is 1 through 12, right? So if you're starting for your very first campaign or you're a seasoned veteran, there's an opportunity for you to play. All right, here is more sick art. So of course with the 10 varied adventures, Dragon Delves also has 40 pages spotlighting dragon designs, dragon history, and D&D. Concept art, new designs. I don't think it's on here, but I think we even have like magic cards. Oh yeah, we do. For all of the different dragons and the representations we've done in the past. So here's a history of the green dragon, its interpretation over the years. Another interesting piece that I thought was just awe-inspiring to look at was here's just some awesome art of the wingspans of all the different dragons that we've seen, right? There is, again, updates to the stylization for dragons in 5th edition's 2024 rulebooks, which I'm sure if you read the Monster Manual, you know that already. But here's, again, a top-down look. I cannot get over how sick that gold dragon looks. So really, every page of this book is an adventure or a dragon or maybe both. So important dates is the boring slide, but it's an important slide, right? Here's all the key dates that we are lined up. So just this past few weeks, pre-orders have gone live, so your distributor, Asmodee, has this product listed on their website available for pre-order. And then we have preview plays at PAX East. We start really leaning into our marketing here in May. We start reviews for the press are going to embargo drop in June, and then we're going to have a preview play event in June as well. You guys for the 24th and so on. Oh, great. So we actually are doing an in-store play program. I know I got a lot of questions about what is WPN doing for D&D? Well, we're continuing to evolve and try new things with the play program. As many of you know, WPN has a lot of opportunity with Magic the Gathering, but we also want to find ways to bring Dungeons & Dragons into the program as well. So for Dragon Delves, we're going to have some, I'll call it light materials available for you guys free of charge to help run events in your store to help jumpstart that conversation with your customers about picking up Dragon Delves. So, how do you do that? Well, here's a quick summary. Dragons. We love dragons, and so do our fans. We find that in many of our products and games that putting a dragon in our products drives a lot of consumer behavior. I don't know if you guys played Tarkir or Dragonstorm, but that's gone very well for us as well. We also have these unique art styles that I walked you through, right? Each of these adventures have a very distinct mood and tone that's really driven with the art. Next up, of course, as I mentioned like 3 times in this presentation, sorry, but we take a lot of the learnings, right, from the Dungeon Master's Guide, what we applied there to make this experience grokkable and easy for players to get on board. And then, of course, the accessibility part, the quick start guide. You don't want to spend 3 hours getting ready for this campaign. Great. Let's pick up this book and get playing. All right, so I'm going to now yield my time to Raymond Smith so he can walk you through some of the Wizards Play Network.
All right, thank you, Josh. I'm really excited about D&D. I don't know about you guys, but hello for everyone. I know we had a couple folks join us here. My name's Raymond. I'm the business development specialist for the WPN here in Canada now. How many of you are WPN retailers? Ooh, a good amount of you. How many of you are interested in joining the WPN? Perfect. I am going to do my best job convincing you today to join the WPN, and I think we have some sweet things. Josh showed you what we have for D&D, but I'm going to talk through some of the Magic-centric things. So we kind of have a mission statement, right? Josh would sum this up, I think, as we really care, right? WPN retailers are really the lifeblood of our games. Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering, they wouldn't be what they are without you guys. So thank you again for all of you that are already in the WPN. Our mission on the WPN team is to give you benefits that help drive your business and community forward, whether that's pre-release for Magic and early sales for Magic and D&D, the seasonal play events that we offer, our promos and marketing materials, or just the information and resources that we can provide to you. So I'm going to start with the play because it is the Wizards Play Network after all, and our most popular program by far is pre-release. It gives you a chance to sell the product early. It gives you an exclusive product meant especially for pre-release. And we even throw in some free boosters to help prize out those events. In addition, we have a lot of other play events, and I don't even have all of them up here. So we'll go through what's up here, and then I'll talk through the other ones. First up, we have Commander Party. Commander Party has been a big hit. We started this with WPN Premium stores as a test, providing kind of these bespoke, out-of-the-box experiences related to our most recent set or setting to help players get more engaged and really dive into it with cool rules that you're not going to find anywhere else. And also some pretty sweet promo cards to help encourage players to participate. Following up on that, we have a couple things that I would call our more competitive suite of programs for the WPN, Standard Showdown and Store Championships. These are great places for players to test their mettle and earn some fantastic prizes, whether that's these cool Cowboy Bebop themed Standard Showdown cards or our cool full art Store Championship promos, including one that only the winner gets. Moving on, we have a couple new ones that we introduced back in November with Magic Foundations. So we have our Learn to Play and deck building, both part of Magic Academy and accessible to anybody in the WPN. These are really, really cool resources to help teach players Magic. It's a 2-part series that kind of on-ramps them to participate in their first pre-release. So you get, how do I even play a game of Magic with a wonderful video to walk folks through the very basics, and then how do I build a deck once you've learned how to play. And then, of course, last but certainly not least on here is Friday Night Magic. This has been a staple of the WPN for years and years and years. What, Josh, this has been around long before you even started at Wizards, and that was, what, over a decade ago now? Close? So yeah, Friday Night Magic still supported with wonderful promo packs that we'll get to here in just a second. A couple things I want to mention that aren't on here, especially for folks in the WPN if you haven't already. Be on the lookout for our Magic Presents events. Those are things that you'll need to sign up for in advance, but things like our Spring Flourishes event that is coming up here very soon, with really, really cool promos and some special rules and fun stuff that our play team has come up with, along with our Pride event in June, which is a fun celebration of all things Pride with, again, another really cool promo card. Moving on from the play, because we gotta have the stuff too. So we kind of already touched on the promo cards, but I wanna talk about our promo packs. So for a long time, we had the problem of making bespoke promos for every single event that we wanted you to run. And that led to a bunch of promos not getting out in the right way or being forgotten about. And it kind of told you how to run your business. So we've moved to these promo packs in the past 4 years, and they are a great tool to use to encourage players to play in events that you want to see them play in, to help grow maybe a new community in a new format. But they each contain 2 rares, one from the most recent set and one from standard and some adjacent Commander products, along with that kind of traditional Friday Night Magic promo card. Again, we talked about the individual promo cards, but we've also been working on some seasonal marketing materials. So things like collectible pins and other point of purchase items that reward players just for coming in and shopping with you. In addition to that, we like to supply a lot of fun marketing and digital assets as well. So things like posters and assets that you can use to advertise your events online. All great things, even product imagery if you have an e-commerce business. And then we have our website. So the website is perhaps the best tool in your arsenal. It's got really everything you need to know about the WPN. Whether you're looking for how big is a product, how much does it weigh, how do I run this event that this Spring Flourishes event in a few weeks that I signed up for, and what do I use this promo card for? In addition, we've worked on building out some educational tools, best practices, and how-to resources, and we are continuing to do that. I'm really excited about what we've got coming in the next year and a half in that space. And of course, the marketing support we already talked about. Every digital asset you could want for every product, Magic, D&D, and just evergreen Wizards imagery if you want it. We also have one of the coolest new things we have done in a long time is our marketing portal through SmartPress. So every WPN retailer in the US and Canada has access to this marketing portal where you can customize materials, whether you want a stand-up banner that has your event schedule for the next couple of months on it, or if you just want something cool to decorate the store with. It is all available on there. The shipping is pretty fast, within 7 days, so you can get your materials for your pre-release next week right then and there. A couple more shots of some things that you can find on that portal and some of the customization that's available. And that brings us to the end of our presentation today. I think we have a little bit of time for some questions. So we're going to open that up.
Let's do this. I had one right here.
So just a small question about the printable stuff. Does that work for French textiles?
I'll have to double check on that and get back to you,
Perfect.
but I think so.
Yeah, I believe there's plans to expand into other territories eventually, so we'll need every character available.
Because I'm in Quebec, I have to have it in 5 minutes. So if I can't get it in French, I can't print it.
Yeah, just to reiterate her statement is that concern in Quebec, of course, about access to French language. All right, next one.
Any other questions? Hold on.
We can take them. Thanks, Tommy.
No problem.
It's also in regards to like the printable items. Are we able to use those and put them onto T-shirts if we want to?
So the printable items aren't going to give you a file to put on a T-shirt. It's going to be pretty narrow in, you can either print a poster or get a banner made. The assets aren't available that widely.
And I believe the assets are also not sellable either. Great question.
I'm sure someone has another question around here. No, maybe? No?
Is there going to be a reprint on alt covers for the core books?
Love this question. No. We will. We made a promise. We're not going to reprint alt covers. The goal is to keep those collectible and special and have the excitement high, right? And so if we were to consider reprinting alt covers, that might damage the image of what consumers have come to expect for the line. Got another one, a couple over here, Tommy. Thank you.
I'm a big fan of the new portal for the merchandising, more like the poster for like the pre-releases, those big banners. That'd been great. The first one had the name of my store on it, useless. You're already in my store. You know who I am. So the next one, I changed the name of my store to, well, the pre-release of Tarkir is April 456, instant hit. So I was wondering if you could modify it so I can edit, maybe add more than just the bottom part information. I could put info on top and bottom, just make it more tailored to our usage of the posters and such.
Yeah, that's good feedback. I know we've talked about how much we expand that freedom to use those assets. It's something we've talked about. We haven't gotten to a point yet where we want to do that more widely.
I think there's another
There's
question.
one up front here and another one in the back.
So you're saying you're not reprinting alt covers, but what about print runs? Are those going to be going up, or are you still trying to stick to
Oh
the
yeah,
limit?
with the performance of the core rulebooks over the past few months, we have to ramp up production for those. Now I will say that our forecasts and our production lines are well out into the future, right? So I'm changing my numbers, so come end of this year, beginning of next, you'll see those numbers start climbing.
For the WPN events, you mentioned some of them are associated with being a premium member and some of them are available to all WPN members. I was just wondering if you could identify which ones were which.
Yeah, so Commander Party was something we tested with WPN Premium. It is now available to everybody.
So all of those
Yep,
are
all the ones that we've talked about today are available to every member of the WPN.
Sweet.
To help add some clarity, we use premium stores often as like a testing grounds for trying out new play programs and activations, and Commander Party is one of the key ones that survived the gauntlet, if you will, of feedback from premium stores. Any other thoughts? Oh, there's one.
So we're a store right now that has like a very heavy Magic presence and Dungeons and Dragons presence, and we're WPN, but we want to try and make the leap to premium. Do you have, I guess, any kind of recommendations for doing so, or I guess just kind of clarification on like how we can get in on that?
The best thing you can do is apply. When you apply, you give us the information we need to give you the feedback to get you there if you're not there already.
To add another layer to that, the application process is part of the process, right? It isn't you come into, all right, I am ready for premium. My store is perfect in every way I imagine it. I'm ready for premium. It's always a work. There's always progress to make, right? So it's always a conversation. So the best time to apply is today.
Any other questions? All right.
Hi, I just had a quick question about, you said that you were thinking about doing some Adventures League type intro materials for Dungeons and Dragons. Do you have a rollout date for that? And
Yeah,
how do we get
so
that?
we'll be doing an event for Dungeon Delves this summer, right? And as I called out earlier, we're still ramping up plans for how we interact with play programs in WPN stores. I can't divulge too much, but we do have opportunities for launch events at WPN stores, how we might support that, right? So as we saw with Dragon Delves, you guys will get emailed the first 3 adventures, right, to run in your store, access on D&D Beyond to get that content. to, again, jumpstart the conversation and the play for the book as it is releasing. So you will find things like that, but we're looking for more. So what I would love is pull me aside after the show or send feedback to the WPN team about what you would want to see as a promotion or play program or activation for D&D. The challenge for us truly, honestly, is what do you give a D&D player? Yeah, and we'll take the feedback. We'll hash that elsewhere. But the challenge always is it is not ubiquitously accepted across the community. Whatever it is we do, right? Dice doesn't work. Maps hasn't worked, right? So we want to find the things that make sense that drives the behavior that we're looking to drive to your stores.
Yeah, Magic has it easy. Hold on. Just print the cards.
We have another question here.
Have you ever considered, for D&D stuff, putting together resources for stores to teach people how to DM? Because the more DMs we create, the more people buying all the stuff. And like I've got right now a group of moms who I'm doing Learning to DM for because they want to be able to DM for their families. I've got people who want to do like developmental stuff around world building, around, monster, like creating your own custom monsters, like all sorts of stuff. And the players are great, but the DMs actually, like when there are DMs out there, it increases the number of players and the excitement about the game. So I would love to see stuff that is about developing dungeon masters.
Great. If you haven't already, be sure to check out our WPN web portal that Raymond walked us through. There's some content there, of course. You'll find content on the official D&D YouTube channel that has the basics of play and also like DM 101. Like how do you really get started with this? Of course, I'll do the plug of try the Dungeon Master's Guide. And I hear you. She said that no mom is going to read the DMG, and I hear you. And so you saw a sneak peek earlier, but we do have a new introductory product coming out later this year that I will not divulge too much, but let's just say it might make it a little bit easier for mom. Great question. Thank you.
That was a great question. Any other questions? We're good. Well, guys, I think it's a wrap. Thank you so much.
Thank
for being
you,
here.
everybody.
Let's give it up
Thank
for
you
Josh
very
and
much.
Raymond, please.